Hey, Facebook. Hope you're all doing fantastically. Welcome to the live show on Saturday, the 27th of June. We are almost at the end of financial year. How exciting is this? That's the end of financial year here in Australia. So super excited for today's show. I'm going to be talking a bit more real talk. I'm not going to be talking around strategies and ways you guys can grow and things you can do and all that type of stuff. I want to share a little bit about our experience today and some of the areas that we're focusing on at the moment as we're scaling, because literally over the last 60 days we've experienced some extreme growth in our company, and so much now that there's my time slots are completely full during the day. Serena's time slots are completely full during the day, and there was to a point there at one stage we had so many leads coming in and so many deals that we were doing that we just couldn't keep up with what it is that we were working on. So I want to share with you guys today a little bit of sort of background on this. I want to give you guys a little bit of real talk behind it as well, so you guys can experience the same results, because it's been said best by Leonardo da Vinci: good artists copy, great artists steal, right? So I want to share with you guys a little bit about sort of what we've done and how we've been able to experience the growth and how we've had the ability to be able to be booked out as well at the moment, and especially through times where a lot of people have just been giving up. A lot of people have been facing challenges. A lot of people have been facing many different things in life, personally, financially, spiritually, whatever you want to call it, right? So welcome to the show. Welcome, Cherry, all the way from the US and A. Hope you're doing fantastically. You're going to love some of the stuff we've got going on for you at the moment too, which we're putting in place at the moment. Serena and I were just having a conversation about you this morning. And just reach out to us too. Let's do a check-in as well. That would be amazing. So for those of you that are live as well, you should be following Cherry, by the way. She has she does doing some amazing stuff in the cybersecurity space. And when you look at a lot of the stats, there is literally millions and millions, if not billions of dollars stolen from small businesses all around Australia, New Zealand, all around the world every single day through cyber threats. So it was quite astronomical, some of the stuff that Cherry's been sharing with us around that, because there is literally the amount of people that are getting scammed online, businesses being scammed online, businesses having, we had a conversation with a guy going back about a month and a bit ago who had over $40,000 taken out of his small business accounts. So a lot of money, right, through cyber threats. So for those of you who want to keep things safe within your company from external and internal threats, reach out to Cherry as well, because she'll be able to help you with that. So today we're talking things that are working now and giving you guys some real talk, right? So over the last couple of months, we were at a point where we had so much going on we couldn't keep up, okay? So, and it was a reason of a couple of things. So number one, we started switching up a lot of what we've done. So previously what we were doing is we didn't really open up any scale partner spots where we just did things for people in the past. But when COVID-19 hit, we kind of switched direction a little bit as well and just opened up a couple of additional services which have been game-changing services for our particular business as well. So when it hit, there was a couple of things that we did. So number one is we've gone, okay, cool, we need to add a lot more value to a marketplace. So going from just 2 weekly shows per week, we put that to 7, every single day, and we did that for about 80 days. So we did that for about 70 days, sorry, and it's just been the last 3 weeks that I haven't been doing Sundays. So we changed our model and we've gone, okay, we need to add a lot more value on the front end. So first of all, what we did is we just said, okay, cool. We're going to add a lot more value to a marketplace, right? So that was like the first step that we went through, because we were like, well, there's so many people at the moment that are struggling. There's so many people at the moment that are having challenges around marketing or even keeping their business afloat as well. And beforehand, it was like, we've gone, okay, we've got to up level our game to teach, to be able to add value, to share more stuff with more people. That was the first thing that we did. And then from there, we looked at services provided, and we only had one product then, which was a $5,000 in at the time for 90 days to work with us. And then over and above that, like that was the only option that people had to work with us, right? And for a lot of businesses couldn't invest that sort of level of money to be able to get started with us because of a range of different things. However, and we turned away a lot of people for that. So we re-looked over a lot of products and services that we did, and we created 2 new programs. So we created and actually started implementing with our scale partner role. So we started doing a lot more done for you services for people as well, to be able to just help people get results a lot quicker. And then second thing, what we did is we created more of a lower barrier to entry product. So for people that were struggling in business as well, or, were just looking to get started and all this sort of stuff as well, that way, they weren't going to other people and paying sort of $2,000, $3,000, or even like they were paying with us $5,000 to be able to get started. They could get started for a very small amount of $430 Australian, we're charging it at US dollars $297. So it's that's what we did. So the first thing is we've gone, okay, we'll add a lot more value. From that, we generated a lot of organic activity. And every single day we're getting new leads come through organically from all of our social media and everything as well. And it was just a real game changer for what we were doing as well. And it was not only the value that was getting created into the marketplace, but it was also the ability that we used lower barrier to entry products and more higher value products to be able to sort of create more offers for people that may be in very different positions as well. So we changed up a couple of things and this is literally right on when COVID hit. And when COVID hit, we literally launched 300 Mastermind. We had a dozen people in that particular program from day one as well. So that's a couple of things that we worked on there. So, and then we just continued with the adding value and the continued promotion as well. The next thing that we did as well over and above that was not only did we go, okay, cool, let's add a lot more value, then, okay, let's now create this lower barrier to entry product, create another product that's going to be able to help people in a lot more ways. But then what we found is then with our paid advertising and everything we were doing as well, we were getting larger influxes of leads coming in as well, just from our one book funnel that we use, which I'll share with you guys too, so you can check out a little bit more about it, because it gives you a lot more in depth into this guide as well as to sort of what you can really do with this particular strategy. So we just like scaled up this one campaign, and we just duplicated it across the different audiences. And we started spending more on advertising as well. So we added an extra, well, at the moment we spend just over $2,000 a month on marketing, which we're scaling up all the time. The main thing that we always look to do as well, and I wanted to share this with you guys too, because we found that like a larger influx of leads came in. So there was 1 week where we got just over 300 and something leads in 1 week. And it was literally me and another guy that were doing it. And then we've gone, well, we need more people. So we had to go through a large influx of hiring then to bring more people on board into the business to be able to help and to grow. And Ricardo's one of them, who's here on the live stream as well. Say good day to everyone, Ricardo, that's on here. So Ricardo's just joined our team. Incredibly motivating guy. He's done a lot of digital marketing stuff in the past. Incredibly knowledgeable when it comes to digital marketing. He's also, on top of that, had a lot of e-commerce experience as well, sold his own e-commerce products. And on top of that, he's actually run profitable e-commerce campaigns as well, which is really, really cool. So, so this is the type of, I guess, knowledge that we've been, and the process that we've gone through over the last 90 days that all of this started unfolding. And now where we're at with things too is we worked on the added value, right? So if you're looking at this in steps as to how we did it, this is what you guys can do too. So it's like adding more value to a marketplace, okay? And as soon as we did that, we found that we were starting to reach 50, 60, and a couple of weeks, a couple of months, we actually reached 70,000 people in 1 month. Large proportion of it, 40% of it as well, was all organic as well, by the way. So it wasn't paid marketing. This was organic reach just by running daily shows. We had a couple of our videos that reached just over 4,400 people with one video, right? So if you're looking at this in steps, right, it's like we added so much more value over that last 90-day period. Then we scaled up paid advertising. We expanded our services as well to be able to have something of a little bit higher value and something more of a lower barrier to entry product. So if you look at it from your business perspective, this is like the steps that you would go through as well. And it doesn't matter if you're like in launch stage at the moment. It doesn't matter if you are in, it doesn't matter if you're in launch stage, doesn't matter if you've been doing this a while, whether you've got a wicked product already, whether your business is doing $1 million, whether you're doing 20 grand, whether you're doing 100 grand, no matter at what stage, you can just follow the same sort of blueprint and you can start getting the same results. So it was putting more value on the front end, and then scaling up paid advertising. Then from there, it was ensuring that we updated our products to be able to serve and be relevant. One of my favorite sayings is, if you are not relevant, you are completely irrelevant. I'll repeat it again. If you're not relevant, you are completely irrelevant. So then we've gone, right, we've got to be more relevant. What is it? Okay, the relevancy is not everyone's going to be able to afford $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 or $50,000 a year, right? So we've got to create something that's going to be more relevant to people that may be going through some challenges and may be in need of additional support. So at the same point in time, we're not going for absolutely everybody. We're still going for our service-based professionals like consultants, coaches, digital marketers, other people in the service-based space, financial sector, property sector, all this type of stuff, which we've been working with for many years now. Still the same niche, except catering now for people that are in different types of backgrounds and have different types of, levels of experience, investment, things like that, right? So bearing in mind, everybody, or some people might struggle through COVID-19, which is okay, right? Well, it's not okay, but you understand what I mean. It's like you've got to be relevant to a marketplace and what's going on. So you got to pivot what you do. So this is the process that we went through. And then now I want to just sort of help you guys sort of focus on where we're at now. So that's what's brought us to now. So we hired team. We've got 3 extra people in our team right now as well that have just all been literally the last 90 days come on board, and a couple that have just recently come on board. So we just brought Indra Naidu, who actually came through our marketing, by the way, but very similar background to me in terms of finance background, things like that. He was selling financial services products, cold calling every single day, right? So we brought him into the team. He's from South Africa, super, super chill, really cool dude as well. Shout out to Indra. And then we brought Nathan Olay on as well, who is also South African. So this is our team right now, guys. Our team is Serena's like part Italian, part Greek, part Australian, part other stuff, right? In Australia, we call her a bitser. She's bits of this, bits of that, bits of many different nationalities. And then we got Riccardo, full Italiano, right? Then we got Nathan, who is Australian, however, his background is South African. Then we've got Indran, who is from South Africa and is living in just outside Joburg at the moment too. So it's like at the moment, I'm like the fully fledged Tasmanian Aussie dude, right? And then we've got Italians and we've got South African people. It's interesting, right? But it's really, really cool though. It's really, really cool. Everyone's super cool. So we've got a really good culture now going. And like the next steps and focus now as well is on training. And it's more so as well, which we've always continued to do, is making sure that we're providing the best possible service that we can of implementation and strategy and support and all this type of stuff as well, right? Because it's simple to bring in new clients. However, retaining is also very, very important, making sure you're doing everything you possibly can to retain. So we worked on a lot of new systems. We brought in new softwares to be able to support clients' growth, make things easier, automate more services, things like that as well. And then over and above that, okay, here we go. So Serena goes, she's Italian, Yugoslavian, Czecho, Austrian, that's Austrian, German on mum's side, English, Irish, Scottish, Jewish. And this is what I mean. She's a bitzer, right? Bits of this and bits of that. It's cool though. Love her to bits. She's amazing. So it's about ensuring that, and I'll speak about the next steps and sort of what's going on now so you guys can see how it transpired and I guess sort of where our focus is right now, which is the next points, which is really, really important. So looking at things like grants from the government now is something we also looked at. And we realized that within the Australian government, there is a section that you can get access to. Riccardo, yes, you're 100% Italiano. Definitely, man. And when we caught up as a team yesterday, you won't believe it, he had cannoli for breakfast. Right? He had dessert for breakfast. So apparently this is an Italian thing, you know? So as you can see, we're having a bit of fun. So we looked at government grants as well. So it's like, and we realized that there was a particular grant that you can get that enables you, when you advertise overseas and you market and promote overseas, you can claim back 50% of all of your advertising and hard costs from overseas, right? Don't take all of this as, you know, it is what it is for Australia, right? I still haven't looked into all the fine print. Serena and I were talking about this morning, but this is like the mindset of what we're looking at now as the next level of growth. And then over and above that, we've got a few other focuses, right? So like I speak to you guys about as well, is that you want to be focusing on a lot of numbers. You want to focus on the numbers. So you want to focus on sort of, you know, your appointment, your amount of leads coming through and what the cost is per lead. Then from there, like once you know your cost per lead, what's the lead to appointment ratio? What's the appointment to sale ratio? All this type of stuff, right? And knowing all of what it like costs you to acquire one client. You know, is it $200-300? Is it $180 to get one client on social media? Is that what you must pay in social media advertising to acquire one person, acquire two people, etc., right? And then what price product are you selling? So what's your return on investment from it? So it's focusing on those areas, right? So we're still focusing on those areas. But I guess the overarching is what our main focus is on right now is focusing on within consulting and a lot of like phone-based roles, and when you're doing internet marketing and things like that, it's focusing on one thing that gets the result and the rest comes. So naturally, obviously, you provide like ongoing training for your team and all this type of stuff. That's a natural thing that you work on and you continue to do. However, where our focus is now is we're obviously focusing on clients and things like that. But the next level to that is we're focusing on outbound calls, right? So naturally, when you focus on outbound calls, appointments come, and then sales come from appointments, right? So it's focusing on, with our team, outbound calls and increasing outbound calls every single day. So just this last week, I want to share with you guys some numbers. So just this last week, our team's done, well, as it sits right now, and we've got some people working today and things like that as well that I've noticed. So just as of today, we've just been at 858 calls this week, made outbound calls. There is more still being added to that and everything like that. But that's what we're constantly looking at increasing every single day, is the amount of calls that are made every single week, and then focusing on, you know, how much time is spent on the phone speaking to people, and then focusing on an increased pipeline. So when you like, the sales come, and they'll come today, they'll come next month, they'll come 6 months, they'll come 12 months, they'll come 2 years, they'll come 3 years, they'll come 5 years, right? All the sales will come. But focusing on the amount of calls made, focusing on the actual call duration every week increasing, so the amount of actual talk time on the phone, and then focusing on a built pipeline. Every single, like, I don't care what anyone talks to you guys about, right? People are talking to you about many, many different things. However, there's numbers that bring in the big numbers, which is the sales. Okay, and you must, to be able to get sales, you got to focus on outbound calls. You got to focus on getting in front of more people, speaking to more people, speaking to people for longer, all this type of stuff. And by the way, when I say like focusing on call duration, like just from our appointment booking this week only, we've spent 7 hours booking appointments this week, almost 5 hours, actually, 8 hours, sorry, actually. And then, so focusing in on these particular areas, because that's what leads to the result. So without the calls, your pipeline doesn't build. Without the calls, your outbound call duration does not increase. Without, first of all, making calls, there will be no sales coming through. Without making calls, there will be no appointments. You guys get the point, right? So these are the areas that we focus on. And this is exactly where we're focusing now, because we understand that the numbers come with the right training, right? So you got to be continuing retraining. There's steps and so on throughout all of this that one must do. However, that's where our focus is going at the moment, is, you know, like, and that's why we've got to a certain point where we've got so much extreme growth just over a very short 60 to 90 day period as well. And I can tell you now, the next 60 to 90 days, I'm predicting we will triple, double to, if not triple, over the next 60 to 90 days in terms of our revenue per month, right? So I'm doing that, and I see that already from the numbers that are coming through and the areas that we're focusing on, because so many businesses, I find, you know, they focus on the end result, and they're so attached to the result of getting to a certain revenue or making a sale with one client, or they may go, oh, I've got a deal coming up and that one's going to close, right? And they're focusing on all these things, which is the wrong way to think. It's like, if you've got one deal in your pipeline that you're counting on being closed right now, the likelihood of that being closed anytime soon, the statistics around it is less than 10%. If you're relying on one deal to close, right? And if it hasn't closed yet, right, the likelihood of it closing is like less than 10% anytime soon within the next couple of months, right? I've been in points over the last 13 years of selling and working with businesses and consulting and running my own businesses over the last 13 years. And every single role I've ever been in the past, when you've got like only one deal that you're counting on coming through, or two deals that you're like, oh yeah, they're going to come through, the person said they're going to get started, right? Never eventuates. So this is why now, like, I've completely disassociated from outcomes. I know what I want to hit, and I know what we want to do revenue-wise for the business. However, it's the statistics before that that is the differentiating factor to whether you will have successful, whether your business will grow. Hence the reason why we focus on these particular areas, because it's these areas that feeds the other areas as well, if you understand what I'm saying. So really, in terms of like for you guys and where you should be focusing and things like that as well, is that you've got to really reverse engineer what it is that I'm talking about today. So you've got to go, okay, I want to take, and this is what you want to do, right? So you've got to look at it as to what you want to do. So if you want your business to be able to do $15,000, $20,000 a month or $30,000 a month, if that's what you want to get it to, I can give you the stats. I'll give you the stats to get to that. So this is where you got to focus on. And this will be the same for any business. So you would need to do, to get to $20,000, to get to $30,000 a month, you would need to do, let me just calculate this. You would need to do, to get to $30,000 a month, right, with online marketing and all this type of stuff, you would need to do 3,776 calls in 1 month, 944 calls per week, right? And that would guarantee your success. So you would need to do that, and then you would need to book 54 appointments, and you would need to close from that. One sec. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. You would need to close 26 of those, providing you've got a, if you're following the same model as us, providing you have a low barrier to entry product, so something that's, you know, under $500. You have a product that's around so the 10 to 15, and then you have a product that's around the 30 to 40. However, right, I'm talking new cash sales per month. So your ones that are like 30 to 40, and your ones that are going to be around the, okay, so I'll change this up slightly for you guys. So your ones that are sort of 15, 20 or 10, 15, and then your ones that are 30 to 40 are going to be like monthly recurring type stuff. So you must have then around that, you must have a minimum of, it would be 5,000 up front. So if you translate that across to a $5,000 product, just a $5,000 product, and just having a under $500 product, if you just had those two products and you followed this blueprint, it can, like, I'm over quoting things slightly, and then you did 3,776 calls in 1 month, which is 944 calls per week. That's what you would be hitting. That's the numbers we're going for now, and we understand around, and we can understand then, okay, cool, we increase that, then that's what the result is that you guys are going to get. So what I would suggest is probably just go back over this video and note a lot of this sort of stuff down. And essentially within your actual marketing and everything as well, you want to be focusing on and making sure you're getting to hit these types of numbers as well. You want to be focusing on getting anywhere from 5 to 15 leads a day on top of that as well, right? And these are your focus points that you must have. So you must be having anywhere from 5 to 15 leads coming in a day from your marketing. And then you must be doing, to hit 30 grand a month, you must be doing 3,776 calls per month, 944 calls per week. You must be doing per month 54 appointments, closing, what did I say, 26 of those, right? And you must be closing them into a $500 product and below, or a $5,000 product as well. So you'll get, the way it will work is you'll get so many high ticket ones and you'll get so many lower ticket ones. The lower ticket ones will also then provide you with a reoccurring revenue as part of that as well, right? Some will be reoccurring due to like little plans and stuff that you put in place around that. But that's essentially what you'd be looking at in terms of being able to get to that type of level, right? So these are the areas that you really got to be focusing on. And this is the real talk. I told you I'm going to give you the real talk today around where we're focusing and what we're finding it must happen in order to grow and continue to grow. And all of these numbers I speak to you about at the moment, you're going to have to do. And then, in order to go past that is naturally increase. And this is what I mean by, like, you can get your business predictable. Like, you can actually get your business to a predictable level where you can actually do a lot of this as well. And monthly retainer offer. Okay. And I will take some questions. So you guys have some questions, you can hit me up in the comments as well. And like, we're talking real talk today, what we're doing, okay, and our areas of focus and what's given us the growth that we've had over the last 60 to 90 days. So I want to give you where we focus and what we're doing so that you guys can do the same thing. So no holds back. If you got questions about it, I can work out the figures and everything for you and let you know what you got to do. And it comes down to not only you doing it, but you're going to need team around you to get to these points as well. So you're going to need people to be able to support you, because the point that we found was myself and Serena, we were so booked out every single day, and it was sometimes till like 9, 10 o'clock at night, right? So we had to change some things. There was points where, with this new software that we're creating and putting in place and everything, and we're passing across to our clients, those days we were still up at 3 a.m. over the weekend, right? So this is the reality of what it's really like, the effort that's been put in behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. People just go, oh my God, you guys are doing well. I'm seeing you guys everywhere and all this sort of stuff. But it's like I shared with you guys the other day, it's about, you got to buy more time back to be able to get to these levels as well. So it's like, we bought Facebook ads. And I've been buying them for many years now, right? It's just you invest more and you invest more to get to another level. And my mindset around Facebook ads is I'm not using my money to start with, right? So when I pay my Facebook ads at the end of the month. However, we're actually paying them 2 to 3 times a month now, just because of the level that we're investing. However, for a lot of you guys that are just getting started on Facebook ads and Instagram ads and all that sort of stuff, my mindset is I'm initially not paying for it out of my own pocket. Like, I'm not physically going, here, Facebook, here's $1,000, right, for my ads. I'm then going, this is my, Facebook, I want to spend this much. And then Facebook's just spending it on their behalf, on their own behalf. And I don't get charged until it gets to a threshold. Like, we don't get charged till it gets to a threshold. So that's my mindset around ads, right? So it's like, it's not like gambling or anything. It's like, the property term is used so much in the financial industry and all this sort of stuff. We're using other people's money. So we're using Facebook ads. So we're using Facebook's money, right, to be able to grow the business. So that's the mindset that we're using behind all of this as well. So that's exactly what we're doing. So any questions you guys have, just hit us up for those questions, and we'll be going through and answering those questions to you guys as well. And there's a few of you on here that have stuck all the way through. Congratulations, and really appreciate you all. So as I said, make sure you guys are following Cherry online as well. She's freaking amazing when it comes to cybersecurity, and the amount of businesses that are getting hit with it these days, small businesses, and the amount of cyber attacks that are going on right now. You just cannot leave your business open. Even if you think that you are too small to be able to get hit through a cyber attack, you're laughing, right? They are the most prominent businesses and people that get attacked is the small businesses, because they're easy pickings. They think that they're too small. That's their mindset. They think that they are too small to get hit by, hackers and all this type of stuff. And that's the exact reason why hackers are hitting small businesses right now. They've got all this free time. The exact reason why they're hitting small businesses now, because they're a very easy target. They don't have the firewalls, they don't have the systems, they don't have all this other stuff in place to be able to help them like get protected. They don't have systems not only from like external threats, but also internal threats like staff, contractors, all this type of stuff. It's all incredibly relevant. So literally small businesses are the most hit. Bigger companies have all these protections in place. They invest millions of dollars into cybersecurity experts to come in and protect businesses, protect their corporations, right? So you need someone like Cherry to come in and sort this sooner rather than later, because it'll end up being like another person we spoke with a couple of months ago who had 40 grand taken out of their small business, which is a lot of money. And I don't know about you, I want to kind of, if we've got that money in the account, I want to keep it. I don't want a cyber dude taking it. So you guys have got to be very, very, you've got to have something like this in place. Put it that way. Straight and simple as that. Hence the reason why you got to be following Cherry. And you got to be getting her to do an audit for you guys ASAP. Yes, Ricardo is 100% Italiano. Hey there, Dawn. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks, Serena. Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Cherry. You're amazing. And thinking of leading with a lower level monthly retainer offer versus VIP. Yes, I would recommend that as well, and have some sort of support system in the background that supports people, definitely. So have a lower ticket product, something that is like, you know, $100 a month or $50 a month US, something like that, so that someone can just get access to, and they can get some sort of support and some sort of trainings to be able to help them implement and make sure that their business is safe, right? Some sort of continuity type program is great. And look at it this way, right? You want something that's going to be easy to scale, less touch points, easy to scale, because that then gives your business leverage. So that's part of what we've done in our plan. Remember at the start, I was like, we created 2 additional products, one of a higher value to be able to help more people, and then another one to be able to help people that might be having some challenges at the moment as well around business and the stuff that's going on with COVID. So think of the stuff that's relevant now and make your product relevant. Otherwise, if you're not relevant, you are completely irrelevant. A lot of large corporations right now have pulled marketing budgets. They're not spending on Facebook because they're not operating to the full potential that they are right now. However, I was just speaking to one of my good friends. She's an amazing chick. She just hit her target of over 100 million to the business just last week, right? So there's businesses right now that are killing it, like big money going through their companies at the moment. And she's been told that she's got to hold back from the amount of sales she's doing because the company cannot work and operate to the high potential of their product and service because there's just too much being sold, right? So all of you have the opportunity to be able to do the same. You just got to think differently. It's about what's going to make me relevant as a company, having a lower barrier product that's costing less than $500, right? In your marketplace, your main marketplace. So if you're in America, less than 500 in America. If you're in Australia, less than 500 in Australia. And if you're in New Zealand, less than 500 New Zealand. This is the way you got to be thinking, right? So lower barrier entry product, 100%. That's what you want to be rolling with. Continuity plan, something that gives you a reoccurring revenue that you can just increase month in, month out for your business as well, which is just going to be completely reoccurring. Then it's just about holding those clients in that particular program and doing whatever it is that you can. Then from there, having a higher level service that's going to give you a minimum of $5,000 in upfront to your business. Okay. So the people that can't do the $5,000 go down to the other one. Okay. And you've just got to make those decisions with people on the phone, right? So if it's like $5,000 a quarter to be able to work with your business, right? If a business can't do that, you just downsell across to the other product. Whenever someone mentions cash flow, challenges, that type of stuff, you go straight to a low barrier to entry product, do the right thing by people. Give someone a way to be able to get the results they're after still. However, you don't charge them the higher amount, right? You think longer term and relationship with people. Longer term and relationship is what it's all about. Too many people are connected to the outcome in business right? Which is to get a sale and to get as much cash in up front as they can for their business, which is great. It is good. However, you got to disconnect to these things from a certain point and think longer relationship with somebody, and then look at other alternatives to be able to help them move forward as well, right? All these little things you got to be thinking of, these little things you got to be implementing as well. Thinking long-term relationships with your clients. Because if you got someone paying you $100 a week and you keep that person for 30 years, that is a very, very high cost client. That's a very, very high value client to you. If you bring someone in on a $50 a month to start with, or $100 a month to start with, and you keep them for 2 months, well, it's not so good, right? It's not a long-term relationship. If you bring someone in at $50 a month and you keep them for the next 3 to 5 years, that's a good relationship, right? So we want to have long-term relationships as well. And sometimes that's why you've got to have that lower barrier product as well. Create that relationship, get people to know you, like you, trust you. You can always upsell to other services when they get to new levels, all that type of stuff. So you can always do that. So this is what you all must be focusing right now is, how can I make myself relevant? Because if I'm not relevant, I am irrelevant as a business. So you look at the reverse engineer of what we've done. We focused on adding more value to people, number one. Live stream every single day from just our 2 regular ones we were doing per week previously. Then we changed that to every day. Number 2 is we started then revamping products, created a lower barrier to entry product, and something more higher value that's going to basically just do everything for people from a consulting perspective. Before that, we only had 1 product. Then the next level to that was we spent more on paid marketing. And if this is something you haven't done yet, as I said, my mindset is I'm using other people's money to start with, right? I'm being, straightforward with, what I could invest and all that type of stuff. However, mindset is I'm spending other people's money, which is Facebook's, to be able to invest and buy ads, buy leverage, okay? So I don't have to build networks as much, and I don't have to get referrals and focus on all this other stuff. I bought other people's money to start with, and then I expanded and flipped that into cash, and I paid Facebook at the end of the month. That's how I started, right? I paid Facebook at the end of the month the amount after I had already made the money and flipped the money, okay? Then from there, like we found over the 60 to 90 day period, we had too many leads coming through, and both myself and Serena were completely booked out, right? And that's right through to like sometimes 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. A couple of like weekends, we were there 2, 3 a.m. on the phones. Last Serena, 2, 3 a.m. we were on calls, sorting software out, working out ways to be able to serve our clients better, integrating new systems, all this sort of stuff, okay? Next level to that is then, because we had so much coming through, then we've gone, we need to buy more time for ourselves. So then we hired more team. So we got our outsourcing team as well that are helping us a lot with just the tasks that we shouldn't be spending our time on, and Serena should definitely not be spending her time on as well. So a lot of our creative type stuff and everything like that, we've expanded our team to be able to deal with that. And then next level to that is just focusing on what's going to get the end result as well, which is the numbers that I shared with you around ensuring that we're increasing the amount of outbound calls per week, per day and per week, and then increasing the amount of actual time talking on the phone every day and every week, right? And then and that's just appointments, right? So we're focusing on appointments. So this week we've done just under 8 hours worth of appointment booking calls, okay? And conversations with people from that perspective. Then next level to that is we focus on building pipeline, right? Pipeline of future money. Some of it drops now, right? However, the real focus is pipeline. What can we increase the pipeline by every single week? What can we increase the pipeline by every single month as well, which is naturally then going to drop money into the business's account next month, month after that, month after that, month after that, month after that. Okay, so these are the focus points. It's a disconnection from the outcome, completely disconnected from the outcome and focusing on what's important, which is the nitty gritty like numbers that people don't normally focus on to get to a whole new level, right? So that's the steps, and like that's where you guys should be focusing as well. And some of you might be going, you know, I'm left brain, I'm right brain, I've got no brain, I've got a brain, I'm confused, or whatever it is, right? However, I never understood all of this at the start. I never understood any of this at the start, right? And that's being fully transparent. I never understood this. I was never an expert at this at any one stage, right? I'm still working out new things every single day. I'm still learning. I'm still growing my skill set. I'm still realizing things about myself and going, okay, and I'm being consciously aware of what's going on in my life and how I can up-level the way that I think so I can become a better person. And then naturally, when I become a better person, what happens? I create better conversations for you guys. Therefore, I can share like more in depth around what's working for me at the moment and what's working for us as a company at the moment, so that we can then share so much more with you guys and just give you so much more free value. Because every single day we are live on this page, except for Sunday now. So it's like 12 o'clock, Perth, Western Australia time, Monday to Saturday, every single day, same time. So that is +8. Perth is +8, which is 12 o'clock is 2 p.m. Perth is Australian Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. It's 4 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time. It is the timing in 12 o'clock p.m. Perth Western Australia Time is 12 a.m. on Florida and that side of America. I couldn't tell you what the other side is, but I'm sure our American friends on here will be able to share that with you as well. Or Serena, I'm sure, is already over. It's like in her head. She's like the ultimate organizer. Like she is the best organizer I've ever met in my life. I tell you this, right? I'll tell you how good Serena is. Shout out Serena. This week, we were so flat out that I didn't even have a scheduled lunchtime. And she calls me or she messages me on, I think it was Thursday, right? And she goes, Jarrod, I've mapped out additional time after your show and before your show so you can have lunch. I did not message her about it. I did not speak to her about it or anything. She just put it straight into the calendar. She's like, you've got a lunch break next week. It's like, shout out to Serena. She's amazing. Yeah, 100%. So this is what we're doing. This is what we've been focusing on. This is what has been working. This is what's got us the growth. This is what I wanted to share with you guys today as well, because all of this is completely relevant to you all. Everything that we're doing organically as well is just from these live streams. We generate so many leads just from these live streams, right? So for you guys, you can do the exact same thing. It's just all you got to do is create. So to grow your business is value creation, right? You must create more value in a marketplace, make yourself more valuable as a business owner. The more valuable you can make yourself as a business owner, the more results you will get as a business owner. So think about giving away your best stuff just via video. Have your best conversations, your best advice, your best strategies, all this type of stuff. Make it accessible to people so people can absorb and they can go, well, I actually want to find out more. So many people come from a place of lack and not wanting to give and not wanting to add value because, you know, then it's like, why would people pay me for this and all this type of stuff? People see your expertise and they see the amount that you're doing and your work ethic and what you're and how you're going about things at the moment, they will want to do business with you. They look at your page and go, holy fuck, this guy is doing a lot of stuff. They'll watch this video and they'll see everything that's working right now and all this type of stuff. And I'm giving you guys statistics and all this sort of stuff as well, right? And they'll go, okay, I need this duplicated to what we do as well. Let's have a conversation. Let's speak about this. Let's do some work in this area. All this type of stuff, right? That's what comes from these conversations, right? That's exactly what comes from these conversations. Just while we've been on this call, our automated system has called me 4 times, right? Saying new leads have been generated. And our system's been trying to connect us with new people, right? So this is just not really, it's not to brag. It's not to impress you in any way, shape or form at all. Zero. I'm not for that. I'm not a flashy guy. I've got photos with Ferraris and Lamborghinis and all this type of stuff on my phone. I don't want to fucking share it with you guys because it's not what I'm about, right? And they're not even my fucking cars anyway, right? So I could quite easily pretend to be somebody else that I'm not on my social media page. However, it's completely and utterly not me, right? I just want to give you guys what I'm about. And to be honest, I own a hybrid Corolla, okay? That's my car that I own. I don't have a flash 50, 60, 70,000, $80,000 car, which I probably could have got, right? I just want to be completely upfront with every single one of you. I want to talk to you guys about what it is that we're doing now, how we're doing things. I want to give you real advice as to what's working on marketing, what's not working on marketing. I want to give you guys exactly what's working in terms of strategy, right? And I want to give it to you here on this page every single day. And that is 12 o'clock Perth, Western Australia time, which is +8 GMT, right? Every single day. Come here, get the information. You've got the information. You can now implement the information and the high level strategy. And all I ask is that, hey, if you just implement something from this page and you get some results, just give us a review at the top of the page. That's all I'm after. I don't ever want to have a conversation with you guys if you don't want to have a conversation. If you want to have a conversation with us, we do free warrior scale sessions. Absolutely free. It's designed to be able to go, this is where your business is at for us, right? This is where you want to take your business for us. What's the number one thing that you need the most in order to move forward? What's the challenge stopping you from going from where you are to where you want to be? And then it's like, let's put a physical, implementational, personalized plan together to help you guys go, this is exactly what you must do in order to get to that goal, right? Once again, completely actionable, completely implementational, exact advice as to what you do, what you must do, and completely free. Once again, okay? Whereas everybody else in this whole entire world is just wanting to sell you guys and not give you anything, not give you any clarity, not giving you any sort of value to show that, hey, this person's got expertise, not giving you anything at all to be able to go by so that you can implement to get something up to a new level and then go, okay, cool, I want to come to you guys now to get some additional help. That's the only reason why we've gone live every single day for the last over 90 days now. Like over the last 3 months, we've been doing this. I don't know how long it's been. It's been well over 3 months. I'm not counting. Every single day, I'm living in the moment, giving you guys exactly what you must do in order to grow with no BS. And geez, that's so funny, Jerry. So envisioned you with a Johnny Bravo Range Rover. Yeah, who would have thought I'd have a hybrid, right? And who would have thought that with a kangaroo bar on the front? If I had a Range Rover, I would not have a kangaroo bar on the front. Funny story though, right? I used to live in Tasmania, which is a small town a small town of Devonport. It's 25,000 people. The whole of Tasmania, you can drive from one end of it to the other in about 3.5 hours. And essentially as well, it's about 500,000 people total. So it's not a huge area. I think it's a little bit more than that now. And I used to, my first business was an insurance business, and I went across to a place, I went to run some business. So sometimes I would fly to different parts. I would go from different parts of the state. There's 2 islands just off the top of Tasmania. So Tasmania goes like this, like it's like a love heart, basically, but just with more curves. And then up each point of it, there's King Island and Flinders Island. So I used to go and serve those areas there, which were very, very big areas for us as well, by the way. There's probably about 1,000 people on these islands. They're very, very small. So I went to this island, and each person was farming. It was all farming land, dairy. There's a cheese factory and everything there as well. And then there was just like, what is it? I forget the name for it, but like slaughterhouses and stuff. So it was like cattle and beef and all that type of stuff. I forget the actual name for it, but they were there as well. And that was really, that was the industries on these 2 particular islands, apart from like crayfish fishing and all that type of stuff as well, right? So there was like people there that were just like minted from these particular industries. And one night I was cruising home from an appointment that I had, and it was really late at night. And what happened was, they said that you shouldn't go after night. You should not drive overnight time at all. And if you do drive at night time, you should be doing about 50k an hour. So I was doing 70 of a night time, and I had my high beams on. There's nobody else on the road. You never pass anyone. If you do pass someone, it's always a wave like this. I don't know whether you can see this. It's always against the steering wheel. So you're like this on the car, and you just go like that. And this one night that I was cruising home, I was driving about 70, and then this little wallaby just went straight out in front of me, and I hit it. And I had this little, like, it was like a little Ford Laser or something like that. So you couldn't hire, like they didn't have nice cars to hire or anything there, right? But it was this little Ford Laser, and this little wallaby was hit. It just ran out in front of me at the last minute. And you know what it's like. You don't swerve or anything like that. If you swerve, you drive the car off the freaking side of the road and whatever else, right? So you never do that. So I hit it. It got back up. It started hopping off. I looked at the front of the car. It bent in this whole nudge bar. So they've got like little nudge bars on the front of these little cars. And it tore like the whole, like literally the nudge bar was just holding together the whole sort of front end of this car. And I had to drive all the way home like that. And this island, right, 1,000 people and like 10,000 wallabies on it. Absolutely insane, this one island. So that's you know, where I grew up, these types of areas. And that was like my first business that I went across to do all this sort of stuff. So yeah, like on these islands, on those particular islands, everybody's got a nudge bar, everyone's got a bull bar, because there is like every single day someone's hitting like a wallaby or hitting a kangaroo or something on these particular islands, because there's like sometimes you're driving along the side of the road. This is how crazy it is. You're driving in the middle of the road or down your main lane, and on each side of the road is just rows of wallabies. So they're like, wallabies are like little kangaroos, about probably up to your knees. Okay, so they're really, really small kangaroos, and they're literally lined up, hundreds of them on the side of the road, right? This one night there wasn't hundreds, there was a few here and there, but just last minute just went out in front of me. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, like these types of islands where there's more kangaroos and there's more wallabies and animals than there is human beings. It's pretty crazy. Because yeah, like it's so funny when you're just cruising down your side of the road and all you see is just like a sea of wallabies on the side. It's like a scene from, you know, Dawn of the Dead or something, where they're pretending to be a zombie themselves, and they're walking through a sea of other zombies with scents and like dirt and stuff like that all over them. That's literally what it looks like on the side of the road. If you were to walk through, it would be like, I need to pretend to be a wallaby so these things don't eat me, right? Like, they never do that anyway. However, that's what it was like on Flinders and King Island. It was pretty insane. Just more wallabies and wildlife than there is human beings on this whole entire island. And literally there's one pub, which was where I was staying. I had a room there at the pub. You would come down, you'd get a counter meal. There was one service station, and there was one like little corner shop where you'd buy your groceries and all this type of stuff. And that was the place. Really cool experiences and some really, really nice people on this particular island as well. I think like the schools just had like around 10 people on this particular island as well. Like there wasn't many people that were getting taught on these particular islands to school and all that type of stuff. But that was some of the experiences that I had, just to give you guys from America a little bit of an understanding as to what it's like in some of these places here in Australia. It's not like that in all places of Australia. I live in Perth, so it's like here you never see a kangaroo. You never ever see any types of wildlife in the city where I am. So I think for a lot of people, they seem to think we have them as pets and we ride them. That's not the case. Good place for a retreat? Probably not on these particular islands. You could go there for a holiday. It would be good. You can drive around the whole island in about 25 minutes and you can see it all and then fly out again. It's really good for that. If you're looking for a quiet getaway, you could do some camping there as well. They've got some really kick-ass beaches and things to view there as well. But you can see it all in a day, literally see it all in a day. You're not missing anything there. Tasmania, on the other hand, will probably be one of the best experiences you've had in a very long time, and you'll really, really enjoy that. Anyway, that's enough for the chit-chat today. That's everything. If you guys have any questions about anything that we've spoken about today, it can include the King Island and Flinders Island experiences if you like. I'm happy to give you guys some tour advice if that's what you would like as well. Want to keep things relevant on the page to what you guys are after. If that's what you're after as well, I'm more than happy to talk on it as well. So that's it. If just remember this one thing, this is the only thing that I want you guys to remember. If you do not fight for your own freedom, absolutely nobody else will. So every single day you must get out there, take action, make it happen. And remember to be the warrior. I will see you guys Monday, 12 o'clock Perth Western Australia time for the live show. I've got heaps of amazing content for you guys next week. You do not want to miss it. You don't want to miss any day, so just make sure you're following the page. So you just click follow at the top of the page, or when this video is finished, you'll have access to that as well, all right? Remember to be the warrior. I'll speak to you guys soon. Cheers.